Well, a desperate search for survivors now on its fifth day in Surfside. The death toll rising on Sunday to at least 9, and we've got more than 150 people missing. Joining us right now to discuss that and more local stories here is former State Senate President Mike Haridopolos. Mike, thanks for sticking around. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Ryan.
So this Surfside tragedy, Mike, this is one of those stories before you saw it, you didn't even think this was possible. Now we've got obviously different builders looking at these trends, especially when it comes to beachside communities, and a very difficult process at the scene in terms of recovery now.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about the highest tragedy. I mean, we all woke up last Thursday morning to this terrible story, and your heart breaks for these folks. 9, of course, have been confirmed passing, and over 150 missing. You can only imagine if your loved one lived in that building. And the good news is that there is no partisanship on this issue. The sense that you've seen President Biden, Governor DeSantis, FEMA, the Florida Department of Emergency Management, all working in concert on site, doing everything they can. And my hat really goes off to the first responder who are literally risking their lives going through this rubble and the water underneath the buildings to try to help folks. CFO Jimmy Petronas has been there 24/7 as he leads the firefighters. It is a challenging time, and let's hope that we can, one, save as many lives as possible, and two, make sure the buildings surrounding this particular one are looked at after and see what they can do so this never happens again.
Mike, while it's way too early to say on this, there are far more questions than answers right now. Does this have the potential where it changes building codes or changes inspections going forward?
I think you'll probably see this. This is a building approximately 40 years old. It was about to go through a major $9 million renovation that was for 3 years in the making. The assessments were between $80,000 and $330,000 per resident to try to fix up this building. But I wouldn't be surprised if, just like you're doing now, is reviewing all of these buildings at this age, approximately 40 years old, and seeing that they are structurally sound, not just here in South Florida, but I think across the state. It just makes common sense because this is too big a risk to take any chances whatsoever, especially when you live in a beachside community, which I happen to, because we know how salt water and air deteriorates concrete, rebar, etc. So I think you're going to see some changes, more frequent, of course, inspections will take place, just like what's happening in Miami-Dade County, where there's a 45-day turnaround now. Every building at approximately that age will be inspected by a structural engineer and make sure there's no deficiencies.
Mike, let's shift gears now. Talk about Florida's cruise economy. It is starting to open up. In fact, Saturday, the Celebrity Edge left, the first paid cruise since the pandemic from Fort Lauderdale. So a lot of good signs there, but not quite across that finish line yet.
We're getting there. It's a very important, of course, the Central Florida Port Canaveral. It is a big engine for our economy. A lot of people visit here because of it. Port Canaveral lost over $40 million last year. The entire cruise industry lost over $20 billion last year. But the good news, the first cruise went out with about 40% capacity out of Fort Lauderdale. Most people volunteered and said they did receive the vaccine. 99% of the people on the cruise volunteered the information they received the vaccine. If you choose not to, you're kind of separated into a different part of the ship. But the industry is coming back. We need it desperately for our economy. And I think when people take smart measures, good things will happen, and we can get this industry back on its feet and revive the economy, because these ships are hurting, as we know, almost out of business for a year and a half now.
You know, Mike, my parents are on that ship, and my dad sent me something saying the workers there are as glad to be back as anyone because they've been out of work, so they're great to have people back on their ship.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great fun time. It's the reason why people love coming here to Central and South Florida. This is the place to cruise. And I'm so glad that not only Governor DeSantis, but also Ashley Moody, our Attorney General, really went to bat for consumers and said, look, let's open up these things as long as people follow the protocols. We need to keep people back to work. And hey, have some fun in Florida. We need some fun and excitement in these difficult times.
We do, for sure. Mike, got to leave it there. Always good to talk to you. Have a good Monday, my friend.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Have a great week.
You bet. Former State Senate President Mike Haridopolos.